Hi, my name is Anthony with Preppers with Purpose. Today, I want to answer some questions about resume and cover letter challenges that we face as job searchers. So, first question: how long should my resume be if I have over 10 years of experience? Ideally, you want your resume to not be longer than 2 pages. Now, depending on your field of industry, like if you're a doctor, lawyer, a heavily credentialed professional, then you may be longer than 3 pages. But ideally, for the average worker, ideally you don't want to see 2 pages. Three at the max, but two is where you want to be. If you can get it down to one page, it'd be great. Recruiters are looking for something that's short and to the point that really highlights your skill set, your experience, your education, and so you don't want to go too long. So I would really say 2 pages is ideally where you want to be within 10 years. And again, you don't want to go further than 10 years of experience. And if you have relevant experience that you want to highlight that goes back more than 10 years, then you can put like you can make a category in your resume relevant experience. You can just list like this time frame and this, or you don't have to list the dates. You just put relevant experience. I have this job title, this job title, this job title. So that way they'll kind of ask you more questions if they want more insight into that information. So most importantly, you just want to be able to speak to your resume. If there's anything that's listed on there, be able to speak to it because they're going to look at it and ask you questions like, well, what is this? What is that? Just be able to speak to it confidently and really sell yourself is what it's really about. So 10 years is what you want to keep it down to, no more than 10 years. And again, just add a separate section about relevant work experience. Next question. Should I tailor my resume for every job application? Yes. If you're applying to a role that's the same job title, say for example, account manager, and every job that you're applying to is basically account manager, then no, you don't need to update it because everything's going to align. But you want to pay attention because employers are looking at details. Now, if their job title is called account executive versus account manager, then you want to update it to say account executive. Same thing with certain jobs. If there's different nuances, if you are applying to, say for example, you are an inventory professional and you have managerial experience, you have roles where you were inventory specialist, inventory clerk, different companies, different roles. But depending on what you're looking for, or really what you're looking for, you want to make sure that your professional summary at the top of your resume that is talking about that job title. So at a minimum, you want to always update the job title for what you're looking for to be relevant to the position that you're hiring for, because some people are easily offended. And if your job title is wrong, then they're saying you're applying for the wrong job. So make sure that you're paying attention to that detail. Next question: what keywords should I use in my resume to pass the ATS system? The best approach that you want to make sure that you're always doing with any job resume that you're submitting is you also make sure that you review the job description for that job that you're applying to. Make sure that your resume includes keywords from the job description. So if it says responsible for managing inventory upwards of $1 million, then inventory management should be in your resume somewhere. So really matching keywords from the job description is what you want to do. And what that looks like is that you are cognizant of what the job description shows. And so I want to be clear, you are not to just copy and paste the job description into bullet points on your resume. What you want to do is show that you're competent in those skills, that you did those keywords, that you did those tasks that the job description is requiring, but you want to show how you excelled or how you were successful doing those things. So for example, managed inventory of upwards of $1 million and had 2% shrink. Like that would be ideal of what you want to say, as opposed to capable of or managed inventory upwards of $1 million. Well, were you successful at managing that inventory? Was your shrink $500,000? Like, make it make sense. So you want to make sure that you're speaking to the relevancy of your keywords that you're including, that you not only have those listed in your resume, but speaking to success in those areas on your resume. Next question: how can I make my resume look professional without hiring a designer? The most important thing is your formatting. Your formatting is really what's important. Don't try to go all fancy using colored fonts and all this type of stuff. Keep it simple, basic. You just want it to be legible, an appropriate size font, 11 or 12 point fonts. You want to make sure that you're highlighting relevant information. If you want to use some bold to kind of offset job titles or relevant information, then I would use bold. I will underline, but I will keep it very, very simple. Most importantly, what's really important is what's on the resume and not the design and detail of the resume. So please don't spend a lot of your time trying to, oh, I want this square font and I want this block right here, the top right corner, and I want this circle in the bottom left corner. No, that's just wasted space. Don't waste your time with that. Just make sure that it's in chronological order. Make sure that the resume speaks to the job description and that you're speaking to successes that you've had. Speak to core skills and technical skills that you have, programs and software that you're capable of using and competent in using, that job uses. And then just highlight your work experience and education and be able to speak to all those things that you have on your resume. That's what's really important. All right, next question. Should I include all my jobs or just the most recent ones? Again, we kind of talked about that in the first question. Don't go back more than 10 years. If you need to include time over 10 years, then just list a section on the bottom of your resume, relevant work experience, and list that specific experience that you want to highlight. And really just make sure that if you've highlighted it, if it's worthy of being on your resume, then make it where it's something that's going to really show you to be an asset and that you have more valuable skill that will be an asset to that employer. So please make it make sense. Next question. How can I describe my experience if most of my work was done informally or as a freelance? So I'm going to read that again. How can I describe my experience if most of my work was done informally or freelance? This is a great question. So for example, business owners that have sold their business or closed their business and now you're getting back into the workforce. How do you describe it? Just put that you were an entrepreneur. Put relevant work experience, because again, it has to be relevant work experience that you're trying to translate to the employer. So just list it as a job, position owner, CEO, chief decision maker, whatever you want to put, but make it make sense. Like make it flow where it makes sense that they know that you were an entrepreneur, that you were the business owner. That's probably the best thing is business owner. Talk about your highlights of what you did well and be able to speak to what made you decide to close your business or shut it down. Now, the other thing most important to be aware of, if you are a continuing entrepreneur, continued business owner, make sure that the employer's concern is that you're still going to put a lot of focus and attention to your business that may take away from the employer. And so be cognizant of that, because that could cost you that job opportunity. So it may come down to how you word it. You may want to put that you have a business and it's, kind of scale it down to make it show relevant work experience, but you might put it on relevant experience as opposed of a work experience if you can, unless you've been doing it for quite some time and you haven't had regular employment at the same time. But just be mindful, and that's something I can talk about in another video. If that's something that you want, please leave it in the comments. But definitely, if you're an entrepreneur and you're listing that on your resume, be mindful that employer wants to make sure that you're not going to be doing double duty between the employer and your business, because they want to make sure that your focus is on the employer and not your business, and that you're not having any conflict of interest where you're soliciting potential clients from the employer. So all those things, you must be cognizant of relatability from the employer to the entrepreneur or the business ownership. So be mindful of that. I hope that answers your questions. Again, my name is Anthony. These are questions about resume and cover letter strategies. I hope these questions and answers help you. If you have additional questions, definitely leave it in a comment, or you can definitely schedule a free consultation on my website, preparationwithpurpose.com. I am a career coach. I want to help you overcome the hurdles that you're facing with your job search and help you get hired. I help you with mock interviews. I help you with customizing your resume, creating cover letters. I help you with networking approaches and techniques. I help you with planning out job search strategies to help you apply for the right jobs that's going to help you be successful and get you the job that you want that's going to meet your needs both personally and professionally. So have questions, definitely schedule a free consultation. My name is Anthony, Preparation with Purpose. Look forward to hearing from you guys in the future. And please like and subscribe to this video. There's more videos coming, and there's also more videos that you can find on the website. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.